Welcome to The Sound, KQAL FM's weekly behind-the-scenes look at Midwestern-made music. From writing and recording to distribution and promotion, The Sound is your source for new releases and exclusive interviews from Midwestern artists. Support for The Sound is made possible by a grant from the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund. Rolling. Hello, Winona and beyond. Tonight, we have a special treat for you in the form of a band known as Prank Williams. You may have seen Chris and Tony perform in the area over the years as Broken Spoke. Well, now they're back with Prank Williams. It's the same two guys you love seeing, just with a different name and some new tunes. So tonight, we're going to check out their new EP together, titled The Gospel According to Prank Williams, Palindrome. So grab your favorite beverage or snack, put your feet up, and relax as we check out The Gospel According to Prank Williams, Palindrome, by, well, Prank Williams, tonight on The Sound.
Wandered to the bed, she said, the hell you gonna do? Felt that way. Why would you need to hear all of those pretty little words? Why won't you let me in? I'm just the sin of your sin. Never really wanted to win. If this is the end of the war, the end of the war. I'm hopped up on the pop fluff. They locked up all the good stuff. I hope it's just enough, but I really doubt it is. Why won't you let me see it's more than just some probably? I got everything you need if this is the end of the war. The end of the war. Isn't this a ceasefire? Isn't this a peacetime gospel choir? Isn't this a ceasefire? Isn't this at least us? If this is the end of the war, the end of the war. It's all coming in so fast now, all about all of our past now, and how to make the things all last. How? Why won't you let me know? Should I stay or should I not? Should this rock flag unfold if this is the end of the war? The end of the war. Isn't this a ceasefire? Isn't this a ceasefire? Isn't this a ceasefire? This is the end of the war. The end of the war.
That was Ceasefire by Prank Williams from Minneapolis. And tonight I have Chris and Tony of Prank Williams on the phone with us. Guys, we were talking a little bit off the air before we turned the mics on and stuff, but I've got a question for you about Prank Williams, because I've known you guys as Broken Spoke in the past at several gigs, and now Prank Williams. And then someone told me it was supposed to be Prank Williams and the Broken Spokes. So maybe you guys can straighten me out on the name thing here.
Right. Well, we played as Broken Spoke for a really long time, mostly as predominantly as a cover band.
Okay,
And
sure.
so there were a number of different reasons that we changed the name. It is just Frank Williams. But I used to get a ton of mail either for other bands called Broken Spoke or other bars around the
Oh,
country
sure.
called Broken Spoke. So that was one strike. And then when we decided we were going to start to put out a ton more original music, we decided to distance ourselves kind of from well, it's purely an image thing, right? If people are going to a Broken Spoke show expecting to hear Wagon Wheel.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Right. And then in the interim, as we were discussing, switching over all the socials, we didn't want to confuse people. Right. So we tried to keep some information like, we're still the band that you love.
Right.
Or the people that you love anyway. And so in the interim, we just switched over Frank Williams and the Broken Spokes and then just finally committed
to Frank Williams. Cool. Awesome. Well, that makes sense. Total sense to me. Totally get it. And I love both names. I mean, Broken Spoke. Yeah. You Google that and it's going to send you to Texas, first of all,
For sure. Yeah.
And lots of kind of, well-known establishments and things like that. I love Frank Williams. I think that's just fantastic. And then the album. So we're here to talk about your latest EP, Palindrome. But I also noticed and that's what I see on your website, which is I think it's prankwilliams.com. Yeah, prankwilliams.com. And then I noticed on Spotify the full title is The Gospel According to Frank Williams, Palindrome. Yeah. So straighten me out on this one. Which is the correct title, so I don't screw it up the rest of the show here?
I mean, either one is fine, I guess, but it is The Gospel According to Frank Williams. And the reason that came, so when Tony and I started writing more directly original music, we wrote a full album over the pandemic, and it's done and ready to go. And we just as kind of a lark, we called it The Gospel According to Frank Williams, Infinite Steady. And I think probably in a drunken blur, we were like, well, that should be the preface to every one of our album titles.
Nice.
Right? The Gospel According to, yeah.
I love it. It's cool. Yeah, and it fits right in. So you guys have been playing for quite some time. We've established that. And we'll talk more about the record, like who's on it, and who else you have playing together with you. But Chris and Tony, you guys have been playing together for a long time. How did this form? I mean, I knew you were doing the cover thing with Broken Spoke, and then you switched over to Frank Williams. But how did you two get together to begin with?
So it actually was on Craigslist. We found each other on Craigslist.
No way. Oh, wow.
Yeah. And we both responded to the same ad to join a Irish cover band called Highland Paddy. And I showed up as a banjo player to this really fancy house in St. Paul for our first practice. And he showed up as a singer. And that band existed for several months. And then things just naturally just kind of petered out. And Chris started his own Irish cover band basically at the time, and then it morphed into a more conventional cover band setting, and we kept playing together. And so we've been playing together for maybe 12 years.
Cool. Well, and you guys have a fantastic rapport with the audience and with each other. I've seen you a couple times now, and just to let folks know, I'm talking to Frank Williams, formerly called the Broken Spoke, and they will be at the Tremplo Hotel this Friday, so go check them out there. But yeah, I think you guys have a great rapport with the audience, with each other, and every time I've seen you, it's been a great show. Fantastic.
It's really the key. At least when I started playing music out more, I remember being much younger than I am now and going to see bands and talking to different band members and how aloof and off-putting a lot of artists in general can be for a number of different reasons. There's a million different reasons. And I wanted to make sure, coming from kind of a hippie kind of background too, it's the music is about creating community. and everybody should be involved. That was my vibe anyway. Is like,
Cool.
I'd like everybody in the area to be involved with it. We're not, rock stars standing up on a stage, a quarter mile away.
Right. Yeah, you're not there to like, hey, look at me. It's like, hey, let's party. Let's get down and move to this music, right?
Totally. Yep.
Yeah, for sure. Well, since this is an album review show, let's get back to some tunes and play some more songs for folks.
Right.
I'm talking to Chris and Tony from Prank Williams, and they have a new EP out called Palindrome. The full title is The Gospel According to Prank Williams, and this episode is Palindrome. Can we call it that? Episode, issue, album?
Yeah,
I suppose. Call it album. But yeah, this next tune that we're going to play, we're just going to play through the album, and then we've got one of the bonus tracks, your latest single, Even With Time. We'll end with that. But right now, we're going to play Glue, and that is off of Palindrome by Prank Williams. You're listening to it on The Sound on 89.5 KQAL.
You got me stumped at the start.
Don't know what I'm to say,
You went in straight for the heart.
so that's the game we'll play.
I don't want to sound
You're keeping
thirsty.
me away,
You got me getting up early.
maybe a stiff cliche.
I first knew I'm lost on you. I've got mine and you've got me. You're passing time, I'm circling. Still you were the best
You
part.
sent me all the way,
Race to be runways the stars.
you said a tricky day.
I first knew I'm lost on you. I've got mine and you've got me. You're passing time, I'm circling. I got you've got me. Passing time, I'm circling. Don't know where all this will end.
Can't think it over now,
I'm pretty good at pretend.
I'll keep on spinning round.
I first knew, when I first knew, I've got mine and you've got me. You're passing time, I'm circling.
That was Glue, and that is off of Palindrome, the latest EP from Prank Williams. And I have Chris and Tony from Prank Williams on the phone with me tonight. So, guys, we were talking before about how you guys came together and everything, the evolution of the band. But this new album, I'm really digging it. It's different than what I've seen. Well, what I've seen you guys play is the cover band thing, and this is a little different, and I dig that. Glue here. I mean, I hear a lot of influences on this whole EP, but some of them, like especially Glue, I hear kind of like a dark folk from the 60s and like maybe even like 60s pop elements. Like, the vocals sometimes are kind of haunting, especially the harmonies. And the bass line of this tune I really dig. What are your influences? Was that something conscious? Are you guys into 60s pop? Am I way off base? Like, what do you guys think?
No, that's absolutely correct. So we finished the album, which is not released yet, but it's done. And then we were saying, well, maybe we should make an EP something to kind of lead into the release of the album, which is coming out in several months.
Uh-huh.
And so we wanted to find a direction of some kind, because we create pretty much every Thursday. We get together in a home studio and just create. And
cool.
It helped us to have a bit of a direction and a sound in mind. And so what we're listening to, there's Traveling Wilburys.
Yep, Traveling Wilburys. And then specifically for Glue, we spent a little time with, what's Jack White's band? The Raconteurs.
Oh, yeah.
Some of that
And
stuff.
Dan Auerbach's Nashville album that he made that was very 60s inspired.
Oh, cool.
So we were listening to those sounds, and we were saying, well, maybe we should try to write kind of like Tom Petty-esque songs and do it our own way. And that was kind of the general direction.
Cool.
And then there was another big aspect to Glue was, so oftentimes when Tony and I are writing, one of us will have an idea maybe for a progression, a chord progression. The other one maybe will come up with lyrics or whatever, and then we sit down and mash them together. And with Glue, I wanted to write a song that we were both singing, and there's no lead singer, there's no ego.
Right.
You know, it's like, this is a song that both of us are singing together, you know, that seemed to me like a fun challenge, you know.
Nice. Yeah, I noticed that. And that's one of the things that reminded me of the 60s. And it might just be me, that call and response kind of vocal where there's no lead. It's just two people back and forth. Is that common with your writing? Do you often like give yourself a specific challenge like that? Like, let's go in this direction, or is it usually just whatever happens?
For the first album that'll be out in hopefully September, it was a kind of a concept album. Tony, I think, came in with a song, and we decided to build the other 9 songs or whatever around a character.
Nice.
Yeah. And then when we decided to start working on the EP, which was essentially promotion, we got kind of precious about this album that we created, and we didn't want to just throw it out into the world without creating some interest in Frank Williams to begin with.
Right. Sure. Yeah.
Right. And so we decided, well, you know, why don't we write something that's a little catchier and more accessible, with influences that, hopefully people can recognize really quickly. And that was, thematically how we went into it.
Right. Awesome. So like when you're, it sounds like you're intentionally listening to stuff, you know, to get in that mode that you were going for, stuff like that. What have you guys been listening to lately? Like what was in your player this morning or something like that?
What were you listening to today? And
Tune Yards. We were listening to Tune Yards.
Water Fountain.
Yeah, Water Fountain by Tune Yards. Have you heard that?
No, I have not. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, you got to check it out.
And then what was the other? Nick
Drake.
Okay.
Red Right Hand.
Yeah.
You know that song? It was big on Peaky Blinders show.
I don't know the tune. Sorry.
That's okay, man. We're helping out your playlist, right?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. That's the beauty of this stuff.
Nick Cave. Yeah, not Nick Drake. Nick Cave. Yeah.
Nick Cave. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Just trying to get some different. What we really, both of us for a long time have written, basically either like bluegrass or straightforward rock and roll or that sort or folk type music.
Right.
And so when we get together to record, we get to expand on the kinds of sounds that we want to hear in songs and that we want other people to hear, you know.
It's a lot about the production that we really get into the weeds with, where you can have a song sound 1,000 different ways. And so if you're sitting on the edge of your bed with an acoustic guitar, then you imagine it with production, that's where everything can change. And that's why when we listen to other artists to deliberately try to go, how should this song sound? How should we try to record it? What kind of rhythms should be there? And then you just mess the whole song up, in a really good creative way.
Right. Yeah, because you're right. It could, sitting there in your room with the acoustic guitar, you got the bare bones of it. But man, once you get in the studio, it can go in any direction,
Yep. Yeah. So sometimes we'll record everything with the acoustic and then just take the acoustic guitar completely out, and then rebuild it. It's a really fun process.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. I love it. I've got some more questions about the evolution of this and how things come together, but let's throw another tune in here. Let's play another song for folks. I'm talking to Chris and Tony of Prank Williams, and we're listening through to their latest EP called Palindrome. So this next tune is called How Much It Cost, and you're listening to it on The Sound right here on 89.5 KQAL.
say it's easy to forget. Well, I think it's mostly just regret that keeps us tied to the bed, choosing not to fight. Well, I've already gassed up the truck, so now with any luck, we won't self-destruct like we did back in Illinois. 'Cause that was not fun. Do you have any idea how much it cost? Any idea how much I lost? Any idea how much it cost loving you? So tell me where we're going tonight. This time, why don't you decide? Maybe we'll have a real good time now that it's just finally up. Well, we slept right in the trash. Sometimes I think I wanna go back. Most of the time, though, I just laugh when I think about all those nights. 'Cause that was not fun. Do you have any idea how much it cost? Any idea how much I lost? Any idea how much it cost loving you? Anything with the spirit can be broken. Anything with a soul can be healed. 39 deer up on the hill, on Dead River Road by the sawmill. We bought matching spiritwood rings and listened to Fitzgerald sing. Still, that was not fun. No, that was not fun. Do you have any idea how much it cost? Any idea how much I lost? Any idea how much it cost loving you? Any idea how much it cost? Any idea how much I lost? Any idea how much it cost loving you?
And that was How Much It Cost. That is from Palindrome, the latest EP from Prank Williams. And I have Chris and Tony from Prank Williams on the phone with me tonight. Guys, so before How Much It Cost, before we played that last tune, we were talking about your influences and how you guys go about writing and things like that. Some interesting stuff there with, very purposeful, like listening and getting in the mode and things like that. How Much It Cost, I was wondering about this one, just, listening to it lyrically and things like that. Are these, is this one like a true story? Did this come from like life experience, or is this just that relatable and one of those things,
It definitely comes from true things that have happened, true events, I guess. But then you try to shift it away from, one specific person. You don't want to make it too specific, because one of the goals of the art in general, I guess, is accessibility,
right?
And getting people to be able to hear their own story in it. So it's kind of I was thinking a lot of the Traveling Wilburys song, the one that George Harrison sings about. Going to take a lot of money. So much money.
Right.
And so, but then going with that concept, that idea, and then making it more personal with things that have actually happened. Any relationship generally will have some something that's makes it more difficult. You got to work for it. And
but
make it relatable. With accessibility and not too much degrading any specific person either.
Right.
But I mean, to be fair, when Tony wrote the lyrics to that song, and it's about me for sure.
Of course, right?
we went on tour out to Walla Walla, Washington, and I recognize all the imagery in that song.
I forgot about the verses. So yeah, we went
Oh,
we went on a
wow.
long summer tour, and I was just taking imagery from specifically things that we had done together.
Uh-huh.
But you're not the how much it costs person,
No.
but it was written during our travels. So there's a lot of sleeping next to the
I
train
was-
tracks and staying up all night because the train is so loud.
Oh,
like
sure.
the things that he and I experienced on this one given tour, which is really hilarious in a way to like make it this love song about just things that
Yeah.
you and your buddy did together on tour, and then the chorus is like, changes direction a little bit.
Right.
Yeah, that's
Right.
just the imagery, and it becomes kind of vague and accessible.
And
Right.
Tony knows that I actually just bring more value, so he would never mention
never.
how much it costs to hang out with me.
Right. Well, I was going to ask, do you feel like you're still paying?
Every day.
No, but that's great though, because that does make it accessible. It makes it more relatable to people, when you're just throwing things in there that are like, yeah, these are just like the human experiences we all do together, and then that chorus is the kicker, I love it. So does that usually how it works for you guys? Like you talked about how you come in and have an intent on a direction you want to go in and things like that. But what usually comes first for you? Is it lyrics? Is it melody? Is it like a chord progression? How does it usually go down?
I think recently it's a progression for me anyway.
Okay.
If I'm sitting around, usually I'm just hammering on the guitar or the banjo or the French horn or whatever, and just start to get into a groove, and then the lyrics and the melody for me follow that, and they inform each other. If I come up with something initially on the guitar, that helps me figure out what the melody is going to be, of course, and then whatever mood I'm in or whatever I'm watching or whatever's happening, that informs the lyrics.
Right. Totally. Same for you, Tony, or that was Chris, right?
Yeah, a lot of the stuff. Yeah, that was Chris.
Okay.
A lot of the stuff that I end up coming up with, I'll record a quick 20 seconds on my voice memos on my phone, and sometimes it's melodies. Usually it's on guitar, and then I will separately, almost always have a full song of lyrics done, and I'll take my voice memo ideas and find what phrasing and patterns match the lyrics that I already have written someplace else.
Right. It's
And then the crazy thing is that then Tony and I'll get together in the studio, and we'll throw whatever we brought at the other person, and then we'll just let say if I bring something in, just let Tony tear it apart or throw in a different progression that I'll add to it, and just basically start over.
Right.
Yeah, I'm never too precious about any of the things. If the chord progression changes or the lyrics change or the melody, it's purely about the fun of making a good song any way possible. So I'm not like, no, man, this line has to stay. It's like, no, if the group says you change the line, then the end product is the goal. So it's never like you can't touch this song. It's like, here, take this and deconstruct it.
Right. Totally. Well, that's how you let it grow, right? And let it become what it should become, I mean, staying open to that stuff and letting it evolve, I love that. It sounds like you guys have a really cool process together. Did I hear you say you get together every Thursday to create and throw things at each other?
Yep.
Like ideas, not plates and dishes, but you know what I'm saying?
Well, mostly gin. Shots of gin.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
It's a great space. It's a good home studio that we have built, and so it allows for a lot of just press record and go, and we've got all the instruments we need, and generally has a good sound in the room. So it's a really comfortable place to record. It's really well suited for two people.
And we've also created a friendship on top of that, where we're trusting enough to be vulnerable with the thoughts, with the ideas that we throw at each other, and understand that nobody's being judged. You can. There are stupid ideas, and we're going to say it, but it's not hurtful. It's
Right.
like, why don't we move in this direction instead, man? That's probably the biggest piece, is the trust that we have to create without boundary.
Right. I think that's fantastic. I think that's the mark of a good band, man, is when the members of the band can work together in that open of a way, That's how the good stuff comes out, for sure.
We also both have very different skill sets that can really make a much greater whole. Like I can be very mechanical and follow the click, and Chris could be there with really great production ideas and step it back and make it a little bit just more like less mechanical, more organic, and there's definitely skills that we both have.
Right, for sure. Well, I want to get into how you guys made this album, like record it and stuff. But first, let's play another song for folks. I am talking to Chris and Tony of Prank Williams, and we're listening through their latest EP called Palindrome. And this next tune is called Long Way Round, and you're listening to it on The Sound right here on 89.5 KQAL.
I'm not sure who's lying and who's not. What are you, some walk-in waiting room? She smiled and wandered to the bed. She said, the hell you gonna do? It's not gonna stay this early that long. You're not the last thing on my mind, that's where you belong. You're the long way around. I'm not your clown. This ain't your town. You're the long way around. Nothing that I wouldn't do to stop those sparkling eyes from spinning around. Them too are lost inside your head. You always take them chances everywhere, and luck you got the lion's share. She pulls me laughing to the bed. It's not gonna stay this early that long. You're not the last thing on my mind, that's where you belong. You're the long way round. I'm not your clown. This ain't your town. You're the long way around. You're the long way around. I'm not your clown. This ain't your town. You're the long way not gonna stay this early that long. Not the last thing on my mind, that's where you belong. You're the long way round. I'm not your clown. This ain't your town. You're the long way round. You're the long way round. I'm not your clown. This ain't your town. You're the long way around.
That was Long Way Around, and that is off of the EP Palindrome, which is the latest from Prank Williams. And I have Chris and Tony from Prank Williams on the phone with me tonight. So you guys, we were talking a little bit ago about how you guys write together and create and stuff like that, and you have like a weekly meeting.
Yeah, this song we just heard, Long Way Around, is a great example of that. I was
Awesome.
I was actually just at the hardware store and driving home, and some lyrics popped into my head, and I think I called Tony right away, and I said, okay, man, I need you to write. Maybe we had a couple of chord progressions sitting around. I was like, I just need you to write a Tom Petty lick around these chords and go, because I have lyrics. And
Nice.
So we hung up, and I drove home, and then we talked later that day. He just sent me a couple of different samples.
Uh-huh.
And we ran from there. I think we recorded that one, within a day.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Nice. So do you guys do all the production yourselves, or like as
Yeah.
far as
We do the
recording and
recording, the
producing?
mixing, engineering, and then we send it off to someone to master it, which is the key element for making it sound good on every different set of speakers that someone may listen to it from.
Right.
Not only that, we do so we do all the mixing, production, record, but we also play all the instruments. There's on this EP, it's just Tony and I.
Oh, cool. Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Do you guys have plans to take like a drummer out with you live or anything like that too, or is it you're going to keep it a duo?
Well, no, you've only seen us as a duo and tremolo, but oftentimes we have a double bass that travels with us or a fiddle player.
Oh, cool.
But it depends on, the size of the show and the compensation for the show.
Right.
I mean, realistically, when you do this for a living, it's a lot easier with two people
Yeah.
to split the money than it is to hire a drummer and then find a vehicle that can transport a drum kit.
Right.
So those things just get complicated when it comes to like surviving off of actually being a musician. But
You're right. It is part of the plan though. Like we'd love to be out and playing. I'm excited for you to hear the next album too,
Mm-hmm.
Bill. But to have a full band, to be able to do it and to be able to pay them appropriately to do it, So this is a good step.
Yeah, for sure. So when you guys are recording this stuff, I think you may have hinted at this before a little bit, but does the process of laying it down, the process of recording, does the song evolve even more that way, or do you have it pretty much done?
Oh no, 100%. Like we'll sit there. Well, this one, Long Way Round, is a pretty straightforward pop song, folk rock song. But yeah, well, that, for instance, that one, Long Way Round, we sat down, we recorded the progression, and then we probably did the lyrics, the vocals next, and then we just built what other kinds of different sounds around it that we wanted to be there.
I think we were listening to Vampire Weekend on that song particularly, so like to figure out what the guitars might want to sound like, really, really high and clean, chimey.
Right.
And then the studio is a huge creative force, just to have all the instruments around you to deconstruct and reconstruct a song or an idea.
Right. I love that. Absolutely love it. I do a bit of home recording myself, and I just, it's fantastic just to see where it leads when you start using different sounds and things,
Oh, yeah.
So much fun. How about this next tune we're going to play is Palindrome, which is the title track. Is there anything you can tell us about this one and how it came together?
This one is the least produced track on the album.
Oh, wow.
I think I wrote it all in one sitting and sent it to. I don't even think I sent it to Tony. I think I brought it in and we just sat down. It was late, and we had imbibed, and we decided let's just keep it as simple as possible, but and beautiful. That's it.
Right. Mm-hmm. Cool. Excellent. Well, let's take a listen to it. I am talking to Prank Williams tonight. I'm talking to Chris and Tony of Prank Williams, and this next tune is the title track off their new EP called Palindrome. So here it is, Palindrome, right here on The Sound on 89.5 KQAL.
The living room's full of cartoons, the people sit and smile. It's years since I've been in here watching the day, the time, the style. Underneath the lilac wreath, my book upon the shelf. A deep refrain of picture frames and a pic of someone else. The talk is nothing serious, the faces are not drawn. The dancers in the dining hall and the smokers on the lawn. Sky is dark, the stars are out, I'm searching for a link between the evergreens, the laughter, and the oily sheen of drink. There's not a lot of room in this melancholy tomb for words that do not wander wide nor stray from the sticks that mark the path of what is really meant, or the footfalls that are stamped into the clay. the swallows o'er the tallest road in town. The wind from the Black River and the camps of tramps and clowns. But here where things are clear as mud and civility has run, the fires have been stomped out, the women slink off like nuns. There's not a lot of room in this melancholy tomb for words that do not wander wide nor stray, from the sticks that mark the path of what is really meant, for the footfalls that are stamped into the clay. The living room's full of cartoons, people sit and smile.
That was Palindrome, and that is the title track from the latest EP from Prank Williams. And I have Chris and Tony of Prank Williams on the phone with me tonight. So, guys, you're playing this Friday at the Trempealeau Hotel, so our listeners can go and see you there. What else is in store for you guys in the near future?
Yeah, so, well, I mean, all this week before Trempealeau, well, actually starting Thursday, we drive down through Iowa. We're going to, Tony's looking it up on his calendar right now because it's not, I don't submit this to memory.
Right.
Mason City, Fort Dodge, and then we play every weekend for sure, and often Thursdays in town. We're all over the place. We've got a calendar on our website and on our socials, Instagram, all that.
Right. Okay, cool. prankwilliams.com, and then all the social stuff. I know you guys are on Spotify. I'm assuming you're on Apple Music as well?
Yep.
Okay, cool. And I know...
And YouTube too, I think.
YouTube? Okay. I saw one of your earlier albums on Bandcamp. Any plans to put this on there to buy it? Or where can people buy it if they want to buy it? The EP?
I think it is still on Bandcamp, and that is the one place that is actually purchasable. And we just have it up there. I believe it's pay what you want, which is always a good idea.
Yeah, yeah.
You never know. There could be one person that's like, give him $20, give him $30.
Well,
right.
I mean, the truth is with that one, that's called Namaste Cowboy. And we did that over during the pandemic, and we had a ton of people play on that. A drummer friend out in California and a bass player out there in Ojai. We also had Ben Cosgrove, who's actually going to be with us in Trempealeau this week. I think he was just there too.
He was there yesterday and the day before. He plays Trempealeau at the hotel all the time, so he'll be with us again when we play there.
Oh,
right.
cool.
So,
okay, yeah.
That album was that was basically just me. Those are songs that I wrote, and then I gave to everybody that I knew that played music and would get back to me with their instrumentation. And now what we've done is taken that a number of the songs on that album, and we're recreating them now that we can be in person together, Tony and I.
Right.
And I think we've got another song coming up a little bit later or now or whatever, Even With Time, which is on that album, but we reimagined it for just because now we could sit in the studio and produce it together.
Right. For the new and improved Prank Williams, right?
Right.
For sure. Well, yeah, we're going to go out with that tune. Let's see. There was a couple more things I wanted to get from you. Oh, physical copies. Will you guys have physical CDs as well, or download only?
Well, I think we're just going to do download only for the EP. We've got cards, and you can. It's actually on our website, the whole Palindrome EP plus a number of bonus tracks on there, and I think it's just free to get into now. We should put a paywall up if we're saying that, though.
Yeah. The last several projects that he and I have done together or separate, when you make these CDs, a lot of the times you end up with boxes of them in your basement because CDs are getting harder and harder to. And so you got to spend at least $1,000 and you get a bunch of CDs, and then they end up becoming just kind of promotional objects.
Right.
Less and less cars have CDs in them. I know several people that are always telling me, I need a CD.
Well, you know what?
It's still important.
Instead of us being so defensive, Bill, what do you think we should do?
CDs or no?
I don't know. See, I wonder that all the time, and I do ask everyone about this issue. And as we all know, because you just said it, CDs are seeming to fade away, but it's a nice promotional thing, like to send, people like us at the radio station, or it's something people can actually purchase a physical thing at a gig, and that's kind of neat.
I'm sure you remember. I know I do. Is being able to buy an album, whether it be a record or a CD or a tape, to having the lyric sheets there, or having artwork from like my daughter did a bunch of the artwork for the first album. And that's
cool.
And we do have physical CDs of the first one, and it's super. It's really exciting to hold a thing in your hand. And I'm just an old man shaking my fist at the clouds, but now we live in this era where it's like, whatever.
But there's something to that, because I know, oh God, I see bumper stickers all the time. There's one on my porch where I was just having coffee this morning. It says support local music, so people are always looking for things they can purchase. I love the free downloads. I love pay what you want, things like that, because I think it probably evens out. But at shows, it's tough because I'll purchase a T-shirt over a CD because I don't have a CD player anywhere. Well, I do. I just don't use them. Exactly. But I did notice, since you asked, this was years ago. I read in a book. This guy Bobby Osinski is a producer. He writes instructional books and stuff now. But his idea of the new world with the internet was. Don't charge for the music itself, charge for products. And then he said, make tiers. So make a record or make CDs, but sign them and charge $20 instead of 10, something like that. Or include a package of 5 stickers with each one and charge, $15, or, you know what I mean? Sure. So that's one thing I've thought about. And I've seen people you guys may be familiar with the Federales. They came through a few months ago. They have matchbooks. I thought that was kind of cool. It's just a little promotional thing. They give them away, but,
So we've definitely thought about that. And actually, we might as well just, we don't have a Patreon yet, but we might as well plug it here anyway.
Yeah.
And Tony will come over and clean your house, man. $20. Tony will come over and clean your house. He'll sing one of the songs, and then and then he'll leave. Whatever.
And then you get the download code.
And then you get the download code. You can hear the other half of the song. I love how you volunteer, Tony.
I'm not doing it, man.
Got to make money somehow.
Oh hell yeah, yeah. This is true. You got to make money somehow, and it's kind of like the Wild West out there with music these days, because. The old way is kind of falling apart, and I think it's up to artists to figure out what we do next. So.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we're not always the best at that, right? Because we just get excited that people want to come and watch us play. Right. And that's all we want to do is play the music, Right. And now you have to be all sorts of things. You have to be PR. You have to be you have to create product.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it's also. As an interesting anecdote to ways that you can find income sources, I'm not sure how many other artists talk to you about this, but some of the songs that we create, if we decide that we're not actually going to use them for Frank Williams, you can sell them to the commercial companies, and so you can make some money by getting them out to different music houses and publishing that. So that's another. But no one else gets to hear it except for whoever buys them. But it's another good source.
It doesn't directly help the band, right? Because you don't get to put your name on. Well,
right. I'm just glad you didn't say, when you said there's another way we can make money. I'm just glad you didn't say OnlyFans. But what
do you think we're going to leave our. If we're going to leave our room keys at the Trempealeau Hotel down in the bar.
well, selling your songs to commercials is maybe similar anyway. So
it's very
totally. Yeah.
Oh boy. Yeah. Oh man. I am so, everyone listening out there, I say go to the Trempealeau Hotel this Friday and check these guys out. I am so sorry, guys. I'm not going to be there. I will be down in Indiana. Nothing nearly as exciting as seeing you guys at the hotel. Hopefully I can convince Shirley we'll drive over to Mason City that night, but we'll be hauling a I can't say it, a big trailer behind us. So we'll see what happens.
I wanted to give you something to bleep before we're done. I won't do it though.
Oh, okay. I was going to say big trailer, so yeah. All right, well, guys, it was a pleasure talking to you. I can't wait to see you next, because you're going to be in Trempealeau at the Trempealeau Hotel this Friday, but I know you're going to be back in the area again soon after that, aren't you?
I think we come back. Maybe it's even as soon as July. Let me see.
It definitely is July.
I think so.
What's the name of the town just adjacent to Trempealeau?
Centerville, is that the Jailhouse show?
Yep. We'll be at Centerville, and then Eckert's
Apple Farm. Yep.
Eckert, yeah.
Cool. Well, I can't wait. I will definitely be at one or both of those shows. So, yeah.
Great.
Sounds good. Like I said, great talking to you guys. Absolutely love it. Love the record.
Yeah, thanks so much, Bill, for having us on.
For sure. And when you get done with the big album, the LP, let's do this again. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
fantastic.
For sure. Well, we're going to go out with another tune here. This is the latest single from Prank Williams. We've been talking to Chris and Tony of Prank Williams about their latest EP called Palindrome. The full title is The Gospel According to Prank Williams, Palindrome. So this last tune is their latest single, and this is Even With Time, right here on The Sound on 89.5 KQAL.
This morning when I opened my eyes, you were the second thing on my mind. You were the second thing on my mind. I was still cold, I was still sorry. An empty pillow is still empty. At least I know now what is mine. At least I know now what is mine. I wonder lately how you wake up. Oh, your white room and the clothes you wear. I won't forget that even with time. I won't forget that even with time. But all the things I ever said, dear, I said them all, doesn't matter which words you hear. We all forget which one's the right line. We all forget which one's the right line. That even with time, I won't forget that even with time.
Thanks again to Prank Williams for joining us tonight on The Sound. To hear more from Prank Williams, go to prankwilliams.com, your favorite streaming service, or Bandcamp. For more deep dives into local and regional albums, tune into The Sound every Wednesday night at 6, right here on 89.5 KQAL. You can also listen to past episodes of The Sound on your favorite streaming services. Find links at kqal.org. I'm Bill Stoneberg, and we've just heard from Prank Williams on The Sound. Thanks for listening to The Sound. The Sound is produced by KQAL FM on the campus of Winona State University. Visit us online at kqal.org. Theme music for The Sound provided by Mike Terrell of Fires of Denmark.